Madison is back with another video on the scandalous TikTok teachers who have been under fire this year for posting their outfits.
Some of you, I want to look in the eyeballs and say, why do you want children to see you wearing that outfit? As a former teacher who worked at a school that had a relatively strict dress code, I want to talk about this inappropriate teacher dress situation. If you have not seen, some teachers out here dressing crazy.
It could just be me. I could be reading too deep into this, but is the school dress code for teachers getting a little lax?
What was once a harmless documentation of a teacher's day, now deemed an example of why teachers are impure and unfit to shepherd the youth to greener pastures and brighter futures. A teacher's role is to teach the youth who are entering into society. Yet, believe it or not, teachers are human too. Well-rounded individuals, onions with layers.
Layers! Onions have layers.
Because of this, it seems like more and more people in society are placing all of our societal problems onto teachers.
There's a teacher on TikTok called Teacher Bay or Mrs. Williams who is getting a lot of backlash right now for this video right here of her pulling up to school in a tight mini skirt with strap heels on. Shawty looks like she about to hit the club and spend $2,000 on a bottle, girl. Are we
dead?
Your child is, well, annoying. It's a teacher's fault. Your child is gay. It's a teacher's fault. Your child is a bleeding heart liberal. It's a teacher's fault. Education is all fine and good. Just educate the children to believe what I think. And this year, stress over school seems worse than ever before. Children's test scores are low.
ACT scores for U.S. high school students dropped to their lowest level in more than 3 decades, according to the nonprofit organization that administers the test. The 30-year low shows a lack of student preparedness for college-level coursework.
Legislation for school is rapidly changing.
She says her school is losing 6% of their budget. That's $250,000 in cuts.
And who is to blame for all of this? Well, teachers are making TikTok profiles, and boomers in Congress don't know what that means. So let's cut even more of their funding. People who work a 9 to 5 making content documenting their daily lives isn't necessarily a new phenomenon. When TikTok was first gaining traction back in 2018, after merging with Musical.ly, which was a lip-syncing dancing platform, it essentially mirrored that style of content. People posted mainly lip-syncing dancing videos, which you still see a lot of on TikTok. But the short-form video content style began to expand, including a wide array of video styles from a diverse range of niches. Viewers wanted more variety, authenticity, and relatability. And let's be honest, most of us can't relate to the idea of being able to dance. We don't have the coordination. So niche creators began to emerge, documenting their daily lives, using the platform as a short-form storytelling tool.
Come along with me for a 12-hour shift as an EMT. So today's shift is 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. I have my coffee, we're posted up, and we're ready to go.
They would document their daily routines and share advice, giving behind-the-scenes glimpses into their lives and their professions.
Come spend a day in my life as the chef owner of a fine dining restaurant in Chicago. First thing I do is water our plants. I've got a little garden going with these green currants.
This is essentially day-in-the-life content. A creator will start their video saying, "Come with me as I journey to the center of the earth. Follow me in a day in my life, making deals in exchange for people's souls." You know, average day-in-the-life sort of things. Through day-in-the-life content, you can watch a pilot start their shift at 6 a.m.
Spend the day with me as a commercial airline pilot.
A tech worker log onto their remote job.
Here's a day in the life working at Google as an account strategist in LA.
A chef preparing the kitchen, a student attending different classes. But most notably, teachers have embraced the day in the life content.
Spend the day with me as a second grade teacher.
All right, hey guys, welcome to a day in the life of a first grade teacher.
This is the day in the life of a teacher.
Creating an entire community on TikTok of teachers sharing how they go about their classroom, how they arrive at school, how they set up their classroom, prepare different lesson materials, as well as interact with students, of course, while maintaining the students' privacy and anonymity. While all of this content seems mundane, it also provides a peek into a world that people on the outside would have no idea about. As a child, would you ever wonder how your teacher would plan their lessons? Have you ever had a teacher who cared about the way that their classroom was set up, thoughtfully put up cute posters, encouraging messages, and did that inspire you? If not, did you wish that you had a teacher like that? Is it encouraging to see content from teachers who care? Teachers who put a ton of thought into every detail of their day, from decorating their classrooms to their morning coffee rituals to, most notably, their outfits. This phenomenon of teachers posting on TikTok has grown so popular and widespread that it's developed its own name, TeacherTok. It's essentially a sub-community on the platform, and teachers will use hashtags like hashtag TeacherTok, hashtag TeacherLife, or hashtag TeacherOOTD, meaning outfit of the day. Other teachers can even get advice from one another from this niche community. Teachers will post things like skits, or give organizational ideas, lesson ideas, or highlight the struggles of being a teacher, like burnout, low pay, or the lack of resources in schools.
Here's the thing they don't tell you about teacher burnout. It sneaks up on you after 100 small decisions that don't honor yourself. Oh, I'll just stay late today. It's fine, I can work through my lunch. Is this the first drink of water I've had all day? And the list goes on and on. But one thing I've learned is that this career will take and take if you're not ruthlessly looking out for yourself. So here's your sign to choose you. It's okay, and I believe in you.
Because the popularity of TeacherTok has grown, over time, it's also become a place where you can brand yourself and have an opportunity to monetize your content. This, for teachers, can sometimes be needed. While data suggests that the income for teachers is growing, average teacher pay has failed to keep up with inflation over the past decade. There's been widespread reports of many teachers often having to get second jobs.
I just want to talk about how teachers are working multiple jobs just to survive because their teacher salary is not paying them enough. I'm from Missouri. We are one of the lowest paying states in the nation. Missouri represent.
I just got off work and now I need to get ready to go to my second job, so get ready with me.
Okay, I'm a first year second grade teacher and I work 2 jobs and I actually work my second job today.
Or in general, just receiving abysmal pay. That being said, the national average public school teacher salary from the years 2023 to 2024 had increased by 3.8% to $72,030 and is projected to grow another 3% in the years 2024 to 2025. But adjusted for inflation, teachers are making 5% less than they did 10 years ago. So by posting their daily routines onto TikTok, teachers were able to make extra income without disrupting their daily routine. It seems simple. They just film their morning commute to school or their interactions with students. Then they can build a following and have other options for income streams like sponsorships, affiliate links, even selling classroom resources. But by posting content and putting yourself out there on a public platform, you're also opening yourself up to the court of public opinion. And by doing so and simultaneously branding yourself as a teacher, posting content of yourself at your school that you teach at, your place of work, you could potentially, through whatever controversy you enter into, you could be essentially associating the school with that controversy as well. I remember seeing this one TikTok teacher that made content that often interacted with male students, particularly male athletes.
I'm good. How are you? Oh! Maybe basketball's your second sport after softball. What is this?
Is it sour gummies?
I like this. Hello, boys. Are you going to say hello back to me?
Hi, Johnson. How's your day going?
She was absolutely beautiful, but through posting content of herself doing this, being friendly with male students, it sparked an online rumor that she flirted with male students. Who knows what the reality is, especially off of a small clip. But because of news that circulated of things that have happened before that mirror this content, that essentially mirror the audience's fear, her brand suddenly changed. She was no longer just posting relatable TikToks. Now she was the teacher whose content was questionable.
I'm putting this in the context of the teacher situation that I've been talking about Miss Johnson teaches. How can we as people keep in mind that there are people that are groomers, that are blurring boundaries so that they can prey upon children and things like that? How can we keep that as a truth?
I think that's because unless you grew up in a homeschool environment or were unable to attend school, most people have been in school. So teacher content creates a wide sense of relatability. We've all had interactions with teachers growing up. We can all relate to different archetypes of teachers. So the content creates a strong sense of relatability. On the other side, if you're an adult adult and you're watching teacher TikTok content, even if you're not a teacher, you may relate to some of the things they're posting about being a working adult. Having to rush eating a lunch during your quick break, having to put together a cute but professional, stylish outfit, trying to navigate a new profession and find your identity, being young and in the workplace. Especially for Gen Z, as they're entering the workplace, being able to post content and come together with ideas of how to operate within the workplace can be helpful, or it can give many ideas on exactly what not to do. In May 2024, content creator and teacher Jack Lee's reputation was ruined after he posted a video of him interacting with his students, which went viral. In the video, Lee had his students, which were all girls, unbraid his hair.
Let's go ahead and stir the pot a little, shall we? Last Friday, 10 minutes before dismissal time, I decided to live stream my students helping me take my hair out.
Lee had developed a TikTok platform off of recording himself at his place of work. In a lot of these videos, he was very friendly and sociable with students. He'd probably be known as the teacher that gets along with everyone. In some of Lee's videos he posted, he would play darts with students.
Hey, why is it
or record videos of himself with the classroom as his backdrop. Now, a huge question is, what level of consent do these students have when it comes to being filmed and posted? These students are minors, yet their own teacher, who is supposed to be teaching them, is filming content of them and posting it online for views, profit, and engagement. In my opinion, school should be a no-stress environment. Though that can be sometimes impossible to do, a way to certainly not do that is to add this idea that you're being filmed, monitored, and posted online on top of that by your own teacher. Then, to make matters worse, on May 3rd of 2024, Lee posted a clip from his own live stream. The TikTok was around 4 minutes long and showed 4 of his female students unbraiding his hair during the last few minutes of class.
Last Friday, 10 minutes before dismissal time, I decided to live stream my students helping me take my hair out. There was quite the discourse in the chat, which had people saying this was inappropriate and other people saying this was completely fine. There was nothing wrong with what I was doing, and people were just making it weird.
Now, personally, I've never had a teacher ask me to do their hair. And if they did ask me to do their hair, it would make me very uncomfortable. If a teacher has that close of a relationship with their students where they don't find it uncomfortable to be doing their teacher's hair, that in itself feels a little bit questionable as well. While it's great to be the friendly teacher, there is a limit and there should be boundaries. I think everyone can agree on that. Lee also allowed those students who unbraided his hair to leave class 10 minutes early for doing so.
Since it was Friday and all of my students did an excellent job on their STEM projects and presentations, I told them if we get one solid presentation in this class, I'll end class a little early and they can have fun and play basketball, darts, or be on their phones or whatever.
Lee said he did not find anything inappropriate about asking students to unbraid his hair, but the TikTok garnered a ton of backlash. On X, a user named Tanel Irene reposted the videos and asked Black parents to share their thoughts. The tweet went viral, and Lee shared in another video that he was fired from the middle school because of the video. The comments ranged from support to outrage. There were a lot of comments that said essentially taking out the braids wasn't inappropriate, but that filming and posting it was. After getting fired, Lee reacted on video by reading some of the messages he received from students after hearing the news.
Come back soon. Don't be gone too long, because if you're not back by Monday, I know something's up. But anyways, I also made sure that the classroom was clean before we left. Love ya, missed ya. Love you, miss you, see you later.
In my harshest opinion, these are minors, these are young students. Even their comments I don't think should be used for content for teachers. And if you need the opinion of children to make it seem like you're a good teacher, maybe you aren't such a good teacher after all. Yet this is only scratching the surface of TeacherTok controversy, as what has soon become an even bigger issue is people critiquing the ways in which teachers dress and post about it. Before we get into this controversy, I'd like to ask, can you notice a commonality between all of the people who are receiving backlash on the way they dress? Let's see if we can spot a common denominator here, or one or two. What began the online discussion of teachers dressing inappropriately in the workplace is Patrice Brown, aka the original Teacher Bae. Brown, who graduated from Alabama State University, became a paraprofessional in Atlanta, Georgia, where she assisted teaching 4th graders. Excuse me. Images of Patrice Brown wearing clothes that many thought were too tight or unprofessional in a classroom environment went viral. But because society seems to love both shaming and sexualizing women simultaneously at the same time, you know, the Madonna whore complex, Patrice simultaneously gained 90,000 followers on Instagram. She started trending on Twitter with the hashtag TeacherBae. While many shamed her for the way that she dressed, others defended her. Essentially, Patrice Brown can't control her body shape or the way that her body looks in the clothes that she dresses in. If you get someone who has an incredibly curvy body, is incredibly beautiful, will society see whatever they wear as sexual, as inappropriate, even if what they're wearing is covering their body? And also, is it harder for them to find things that don't accentuate their curves? Does that leave them with little options? Essentially, they have to wear extremely baggy clothing, which is like a sweatshirt and sweatpants, which isn't even professional for workplace as well. Basically, is it the teacher's fault if society is sexualizing them for what they wear? If Patrice were skinny, a man, a white woman, would these same judgments be made? Also, there's no universal dress codes or morally agreed on dress codes for teachers in the US. Standards are usually set locally and by school district, and many schools use pretty general language like professional attire or appropriate clothing. So suddenly, critiquing the way that a teacher dresses brings up a broader societal question. Should standards of professionalism be judged on the actual clothing someone wears, or how that clothing fits a certain body type? Because that's a pretty dark rabbit hole to go down. The same piece of clothing can fit different body types wildly differently. To judge someone like Patrice Brown for the way that her clothing fits, and to essentially her for it, feels very similar to the young girl who gets dress coded often simply because the school clothes fit her differently because she's developing quicker than the other girls at her school, which is a real story that happens very often. If it was worn by somebody with a different body shape, then it's not about what she's wearing, and the controversy is more about the biases towards different women's body types. Of course, schools are very unique workplaces. Teachers are expected to be role models for children, but also isn't learning to not sexualize someone based on their body type or what they're wearing an important lesson as well? One that you should learn not just from your teachers, but the way that society treats your teachers. In response to all of this controversy, Patrice Brown had to remove several Instagram photos from her account. She made a response to the backlash saying, "This too shall pass." Brown also didn't change her style just because of the controversy. She continued to wear the clothing she wanted, which many called skin-tight dresses and hip-hugging leggings. As someone with a specific body type, there's certain tops that will always fit me a certain way. Ow! I will kick you out! That being said, Patrice Brown didn't change herself. And on top of that, she embraced the viral name Teacher Bae. She even created her own clothing store called Teacher Bae, clothing targeted at stylish teachers. It seemed that Patrice Brown had turned lemons into lemonade, embraced the hate, didn't change herself just because of that. Probably because she dealt with similar things her whole life. That is until the summer of 2022, when the New York Post published an article detailing how Teacher Bae received a pink slip, where her employer told her not to return for the next school year. Eventually, she found a new job at a different school, teaching first graders, and speaking on the experience, Patrice Brown said, "Teachers are often bullied for their looks by administration, parents, other teachers, and in higher grades, the students. However, Patrice Brown was not the only teacher to receive negative attention for her inappropriate outfits. In 2022, a New Jersey teacher named Roxana Diaz was criticized online for outfits people deemed form-fitting. Outraged parents deemed her desperate and attention-seeking. I'll be 100% honest, when I looked at the photos posted for Roxana Diaz, it is literally just her body, because those outfits are not inappropriate. And if it was on anybody who didn't have curves, it would be seen as very professional. Yet the New York Post wrote, in some saucy snaps, the buxom brunette can be seen flaunting her figure up against a whiteboard. In other images, her students are visible inside the classroom, although their faces are not identifiable. And some parents commented on her social media saying she shouldn't be wearing such outfits around minors. Diaz eventually responded to the criticism on Instagram, where she has over 1 million followers. I have seen some men say some crazy, mean stuff, but I teach babies, and there are no haters in the classroom thinking of that. She teaches babies. Do you think a baby is sexualizing her? Especially because she is fully covered in her clothes. So again, is this whole controversy really the fault of the teachers, or is it the fault of society attributing these sexualization characteristics onto the teachers? I'm a really, really good teacher. I had students emailing me during the summer asking me for homework. I love teaching art. There's a TikTok teacher named Maddie Dew who's responded to some of this outrage, agreeing that fellow educators should wear whatever makes them feel cute and comfortable. She's also gone viral for making more risque clothing appear appropriate in a professional setting. I layer, said Maddie Dew, who lives in Central Florida. At my school, we can't wear spaghetti straps or show our shoulders, so I put t-shirts under dresses that might be a little lower cut, and I wear a lot of undershirts. She loosens straps to make her dresses longer, or wears a cardigan over her dress to hide skin. One of her most viewed videos is her showcasing outfits that would be deemed inappropriate and redesigning them so they're more appropriate for the workplace.
From oh no, a pair of shoulders, to your principal complimenting your outfit. From brunch with the girlies, to teaching the next generation. From spaghetti strap, scandal, to that trendy, cute teacher.
That being said, I still wonder if Maddie Dew looked different, if she was a woman of color, if she had a curvier body type. Would those outfits be looked at differently? I don't know, it just makes me wonder. That being said, Maddie Dew has shown support for her fellow teachers. I don't think our clothes need to be nitpicked so much, especially when there's a teacher shortage. The focus should be on making sure schools are properly funded, that the children are getting the resources that they need, and that teachers are being supported. While the First Amendment right is supposed to protect the teacher's right to expression outside of work, including clothing choices, these protections are limited. If a teacher's off-duty appearances or behavior goes viral and is considered highly inappropriate, districts will sometimes intervene, arguing it affects the teacher's credibility and authority. One of the most infamous examples of this is the Hawk Tua meme, where in a viral street interview, a young girl, now known as the Hawk Tua girl, is asked about her favorite act in the bedroom, I believe, and she says that she likes to spit sometimes.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that Hawk Tua and spit on that thing, you get me?
The thing is, Hawk Tua, or Haley, was a preschool teacher at the time. Sarah Seals is a teacher who was fired from her job in 2022 after it came to light that she was posting selfies of herself onto OnlyFans. Sarah worked as a teacher at Starbase, a program run by the Department of Defense to offer STEM classes to 5th grade students. Sarah was a single mom, and outside of school hours, she was discreetly running an OnlyFans account. A reporter from Real News Michiana exposed her by posting an article that read, "Local teacher has a porn site on side, has kids call her by nicknames she uses on porn site." The article revealed that her OF username was Buttercup1981, and Sarah reportedly used the nickname Buttercup while working with students, which is definitely a little weird. Sarah was let go from her position, and prior to being let go, she posted a statement onto Instagram. "I'm shocked and saddened by his vile attempt to ruin my life. If you could think of any way to help me, I would appreciate it. I feel heartbroken." Yet it seems that also this sensationalized article about the whole situation actually kind of helped Sarah. Again, this weird cycle where people love to shame and sexualize women at the same time, as Sarah gained a ton of followers in the week leading up to her termination, making it seem like maybe she could actually do OF full-time. OF has also created an empowering platform for women to create an unlimited financial income for themselves, Sarah exclaimed. I am now empowered. The thing is, was she? She was just exposed without her consent. Her students involved in it as well, roped into the drama, and because her main source of income was taken away through a sensationalized piece, her only option was to further sexualize herself. Of course, I have to bring up the fact that the fetishization of teachers has existed for a long time, and it seems like this aspect is feeding into the way that teachers are being perceived online when they're just posting about their daily lives, altering their brand, their careers, dismantling their careers, and sending them down a rabbit hole of S-work when that was never what they wanted for themselves. In the summer of 2025, Miss Williams emerged as the new teacher bae. Similar to Patrice Brown, Miss Williams posts content at her workplace, wearing clothes that many deemed tread the line of what's appropriate for a teacher to wear. She also embraced the nickname teacher bae, wanting to become a full-time influencer while balancing her teacher career. Many of Teacher Bae's TikTok videos went viral, but often for the wrong reasons, like in one TikTok clip when Teacher Bae is wearing a tight-fitting nude pencil skirt, a white blouse, and lace-up black heels.
My baddie, Teacher Bae neighbor. Miss Williams. She's so pretty.
Many saw this outfit as clearly inappropriate and blatantly trying to be so for outrage marketing and a viral TikTok clip. Yet others would say, to be fair, she was fully covered. And there were other TikTok clips where her outfits seemed fine, like in one where she wore a white maxi skirt, a black top, and a Chanel bag. The video that seemed to upset people the most shows Miss Williams in flowy trousers, filmed from the back as she's writing assignments on the board. People essentially accusing her of trying to look sexy for kids. But I'll be honest here, if I was wearing those pants, no one would think I was trying to be sexy for kids. So is it just the body type that we're talking about here, and you think that it's sexy and sexualize her? Therefore, you assume that everyone is going to sexualize her. To make matters worse, Miss Williams appeared to be an English teacher, and viewers noticed grammatical errors in her writing. Miss Williams has several posts on her TikTok, and more of the comments have grown negative. In fact, it seems that the entirety of her TikTok is essentially rage bait at this point. With that and the lack of educational material on her teaching, it makes me wonder if she is a teacher in the first place, or just decided to create this persona off of the brand of teaching that was gaining traction. But I digress. Maybe I'm too chronically online with that take. TMZ held an interview with Miss Williams, who claimed that she had not broken any of the school's dress codes. She accused her critics of judging her solely based off of her body shape. More and more people who look similar to Teacher Bae, have a similar body type or a similar ethnicity, have been receiving criticism for the way they dress online. To me, this is starting to feel at least like a microaggression, because if I was wearing those same outfits, they would not be seen as sexy. While yes, I think that teachers do have a larger burden or responsibility to set a precedence in the ways they dress, the things they post, the manners in which they act, to shepherd and guide the youths that they're teaching. I also think that that's a heavy burden to place on just a few individuals, to essentially wipe our hands clean and say, that's all on you, not on us. And if kids are stupid and annoying, then it's the teacher's fault and we're doing nothing wrong. I think society has some culpability too. The way we act and respond. For example, if kids see that their teachers are getting sexualized online simply because they have a body, what is that going to teach children? How is it going to make them feel when they start developing? When they start going through puberty? It's almost been 10 years since the Me Too movement, since we've had larger societal conversations surrounding consent, dispelling the, well, what was she wearing narrative. Yet TeacherTok is showing us that in our own everyday classrooms, those narratives are more alive than ever.